Well, hello everyone. Here to show you that the Cars Tractor roll coloring right here. As you see right here, is I went ahead and drew is like what you call is like the characters like for the cars characters right here. And you got the tractor and of course right here the another type type farm vehicle it is like a Camaro or if it's it's like known as for a speed runner it is. But anyway, that I can remember that whenever I was a kid, of course, that I would a lot of times you'll want to get it's like maybe every once in a while it was the coloring books, but on the other hand too that knowing about is that like I may have mentioned a couple of times was that knowing about that yeah that that the way I would draw them, of course, that I would just think about this like number of times that I would talk to myself about, well, I'll go ahead and just add this and I'll go ahead and add that it is and add this and that and see how it turns out it is. And a lot of times that whenever I would do like what you call like types of art, you say even that would even include magic tricks. It was is knowing about like see what happens if try to make this disappear like what you see normally on like one of those maybe those TV on those shows, or if you were to actually go to a circus, if a clown were to show you any magic tricks or anything. But what you have right here is that then I went ahead and added in the details right here for say for a tractor if they would be working you say in a farm say of land it is. And that knowing about right here is that they have right here is a stack right here. I'm sure most of us have seen them before. It's like you say a stack, I guess you call it. It's like stack of hay right here. If it's I don't know if it's straw or if hay, but any type of like wheat material that they would pull up and then of course weave into like what you call is like into a ball. It is into like what you call is like into a roll. It is, and I've seen that a lot of times in the fields. It is if they have real tall grass. I'm talking about between about 2 foot long say tall grass seeds. It is at a lot of times that they would let the grass grow to a few inches, and then of course it come around for the tractor mower it is, and of course weave it into like which calls like a roll, and then have it to where it stands at about I would say at least it's it would stand at least about 5 feet tall, something like that. Maybe 8 feet, something like that. Really, but then I heard that of course a lot of them, quite a few of them, rolls of of wheat it is that you probably think about that yeah, they weigh up to between 700 and 1,000 pounds. It is for one of those big waves of hay it is, and the straw it's like the grass. I guess they call it. It's like for the grass it is that they collect in the fields it is. But knowing right here is the amount of detail that I, of course I could put into it is talk about what the tractor roll is knowing about like but like but other than that, like right here is like you got right here is the tractor, and of course it's like have it to where you got it's like the smoke, and then of course it is the steam coming I say from the exhaust pipe it is. And knowing about is that it's like see what goes on. It's like other than that, like talking about it's like that you have right here is like you was talking about the race about how to go around a field to say of acres of farmland it is to correct that make a big say round say cluster of say of grass it is, roll it up into a ball, and then knowing about how much you collect. It's like so far as racing, other than as you say is racing for the Piston Cup it is. But the starting point, more likely they probably think about the starting point would be at like what you call like is a barn. Draw here is a barn right here. You got the roof, and of course it's like that yeah trying to draw a number of items. It's like on a piece of paper here, but have right here at the starting point would be at about right here at the barn, would be about right here at about maybe about 22 feet away, of course, from the start line, from between checkpoint and finish it is, and you have right here is a barn, and the barn would have like what you call like paneling right here, and knowing about at the checkpoint where to be about right here it is. And people think about that at the checkpoint. Well, I can, I'll race you there. Like talking about it's like for start point, it's like you would collect it maybe about maybe a small portion you say of the grass. It is at about right here, and then from there, and we like the rotation, the part you say of the tractor. It is like I'll go I can. And then with like we say kind of like what you call is like for a speed runner it is knowing about the like but other than that you have right here is the barn. With the barn, a lot of times I usually see them like a type of red type color. Go ahead and put like red siding right here for the barn. It is. It's like if anybody ever heard of that song goes like an home on the range. Like home on the range, or if it's like it's like old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Say, and on his farm he had a duck, and E-I-E-I-O, something like that. But anyway, that you have right here is like you got the barn right here, and knowing about it with the barn that you have for the tractor roll. It's like anybody. I don't know about what you call it, like for the Tootsie Roll or anything like that. It's like, so far as the Tootsie Roll, the Tootsie Roll. But anyway, but talking about right here is that if we've seen it before, it's like we say the big the rolls. I don't know what they're called, but I've seen them before, say in the fields, to where they would weed up they will round up all the grass, like all into the farm machinery vehicle it is, and then from there, and then of course that they would go ahead and like you see here, add a little bit of purple right here for like a background for like say the number of acres it is of say a farmland it is. It's like with the duck, it's like you'd be the duck, and of course maybe back there would be like maybe a lake or something like that. But on here into the knowing about that yeah. My details can probably go on and on. My details can probably go on and on about the fact about yeah that with that with all the stuff about knowing about whatever ideas that come to my mind, huh? That yeah, whenever I was a kid, of course, that used to think about that really anybody that talk about anybody would probably think about anything that came to my mind. It's like to go ahead and write them out. But back then, more likely they could probably think about that this has nothing to do with your history project or your language arts project, and you need to think about what you gotta do. But so far, if I were to talk about, it's like with the tractor. The tractor, it's like anybody will probably think about if you were to come up with the definition, say for like a tractor. It's like to say a motor vehicle, but on your hand too that I can maybe think about maybe different ways about what it's used for. It's like you got right here, it's like you say is write a few sentences for what it's used for. It is, and I'll probably think about, well, I could even draw a picture, like draw a picture of what I can draw a picture right here. You have right here is a rotating tire, right? You got the rotating tire, and then of course you have right here is the tractor wheel. The tractor wheel is like knowing about, if any of us were probably thinking about that, yeah, that working out there in the farm area or anything like that. It's like talking about operating a tractor, or if like the fact about that, yeah, it's anything related to what you call like the hard job. Like you talk about the hard job, like yeah, this is a hard job. But other than that, like you have right here, go ahead and draw some detail like you've got right here is the clouds. But just say if it was a nice day outside, and knowing about it, that you take the machinery, farm machinery out, and of course it's like that to collect, say, the amount of grass and grains, say from the fields it is. But on your hand too, knowing about it, like this is a hard job. But I could probably think about anybody would probably think about that. Hey, this is hard. That's hard, or anything like that. Well, on your hand too, knowing about that. Yep, who's gonna lift that? It's gotta be loaded on. It's gotta be transferred from the back of the the lifting of the gate of the tractor. It is, it's like, at like boom, 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 after it's collected, say from Speedrunner it is, and then after that, and then like knowing about that, hey, that we've got the right equipment, that more likely we can go ahead and lift it up and to go ahead and load up on back of the other tractor transporter that we're putting it on. But on your hand too, that knowing about right here, you got right here is the roll. It's like what you call it's like the Tootsie Roll. But other than that, the roll right here is that knowing about you have this amount of grass, and people probably thinking about that they wind and grind it up, and then of course if they use it, maybe to feed the horses or maybe the cows or anything like that, like But other than that, is talking about right here for the tractor. The car's tractor roll is talking about is like that we more like we've seen them before, is that that's like these type of, say, it's a roll of these rolls, I guess you say, these stacks, you say, of a straw, or if it's grass or hay, it is, and more likely I guess there's that particular name for it. It is, but knowing about anybody probably thinking about if there would be like any type of game, like outburst, any type of game to where that you draw out what you're trying to describe. It is like, oh, hey, I actually know what that's called, like, and I know what that's used for, or anything like that. But anyway, anybody will probably think about that there's a type of game like that, and I think that it is called outburst, or if it's it's like I think they also got like a taboo. I think taboo, or Roboto. I think it is something like that. But anyway, that I don't know. Anybody could probably think about that. That if they're not really good, if they're not a real good artist, and then of course they don't know how to draw it is. But in a lot of ways, they could probably think about that. Hey, think about what comes to your mind about the different things that you can do. Of course. With your hand, of course, with the up, down, and that left and right movement, you say with your hand, because a lot of people are probably thinking about that. Hey, about exactly about what speedrunner, about trace about from what direction he's going. Just go ahead, just add a little bit of detail right here. It's like for the track, for more likely where he will be going. It is, and then from right here, add a little bit of detail about right here, it is. And add a little bit of detail right on, say, on the left. Yeah, about what direction do you think that is? I guess it'll probably be, it's like, south? Is it east or west? But anyway, that you got right here is like more likely people probably think about. Just you say, I guess, is there really a right or wrong way of how to do artwork, other than the fact about it's about the fact about having fun, and then knowing about what you can share, what you could talk about, really it's about the gather group. Oh really? But other than that, like talking about the car's tractor tip, the tractor is like you got tractor roll, it is, and then that knowing about the car where if the car or tractor were to tip and be like but other than that, then let's just say if I draw a tractor in the background right here, be tipping, and I'm like well, you're going the wrong way, man. The finish point is over that direction. And I was like, for where the race starts, it starts from the barn and wraps around at about maybe a few acres, to the east. It's like to the southeast, and it goes for the northeast, and then and to the checkpoint. But other than that, like talking about for the cars and then tractor roll, we say coloring activity.